Junko really does care! I'm back. Junko, are you watching me right now? In the end, perhaps Makuro really was a disappointment. She clenched her fists. Junko, thank you. Wow. The sound of gunfire overshadowed her whisper, and Makuro fell completely silent. It's like they're showing each other their love in their own twisted, fucked up way. Makuro's trying to kill Junko, because Junko knows she's got a backward sense of personality, and Junko's trying to kill Makuro, because she has a backward sense of personality. They really do hate each other. Oh! Okay. Makuro fell completely silent. As a member of the Ultimate Despair, Makuro's heart was filled with joy. Though she was filled with emotion, her eyes had lost their sparkle. Oh? Silence filled the air. Even the gunfire from the turrets seemed to stop for a moment. But that was only an illusion to the one controlling Monokuma. Oh? Only an illusion to the one controlling Monokuma. Something strong enough to silence the gunfire and avoid being picked up by the sensors spread through the school with Makuro at the center. Oh? I'll make sure I do this right. With that final thought, she closed her mouth and turned off her emotions. Emotions done, as she ran through the wave of scorching bullets, the air around her began to grow colder. As this coolness spread into her heart, it began to beat in a mechanical fashion. Several seconds later, Makuro's body and mind melted together and became one with her surroundings. Her temperature now dominated the battlefield. Despair, bullets, and Monokumas filled the area. Oh, time unfrozen. Makuro predicted their movements and jumped into the air without any hesitation. One of the Monokumas jumped at her, but she avoided his attack, kicked his body, and launched herself in midair. Bullets pierced through the space Makuro was previously occupying, striking the falling Monokuma through its internal bomb. The impact of the bullet caused its explosion, sending fiery Monokuma parts everywhere. As she rode the blast wave, that's cool, Makuro balanced herself in midair as she kicked away three Monokumas that left after her. She moved so gracefully she was practically flying. In contrast, the Monokumas threw themselves into the path of oncoming bullets, exploding one after the other. Some of them exploded near the main entrance, but their blasts didn't even leave a scratch. With full control over the entrance hall, Makuro, with full control? Oh, okay. I guess I know what they're saying, but they don't have full control, that's for sure. Makuro evaded bullets and confirmed that the bombs inside Monokumas weren't enough to destroy the door. Alright. But she refused to stop. Makuro needed the information on what she must do to escape the academy. She had no desire to kill Junko. You might end up doing it though. Makuro wanted to fill Junko with despair by instilling hope into the future of Makoto and the other students. That was Makuro's ultimate goal, although Junko's death seems almost mandatory. Get information. In contrast to her determination, her mouth stayed shut, but this did not mean Makuro was not currently speaking to Junko. They were speaking through battle, through love, loving battle. This battle of death and destruction was a conversation of sorts for Makuro. All she knew how to do was fight. She thought she wasn't interested in anything else. She thought she didn't need anything else. All Makuro needed to be was a sword to fulfill her sister's desire for despair. That purpose alone was the crux of her existence, and she lived her entire life convincing herself that she couldn't do anything else. That's why power was like a language to Makuro. A battle to the death revealed more about her heart than mere words ever could. Her words were in the wind of a savagery that blows across the battlefield, uprooting others who also speak the language of violence. This was true even against her sister. When Junko would berate her sister, Makuro couldn't talk back. All she could do was cower and apologize profusely. But it's different now. For the first time, Junko was using a language her sister actually recognized. Nice! The child of despair who tore the world apart was speaking to her sister with the language of power. Makuro's heart filled with joy! For that reason, she strengthened her focus on her conversation with Junko, and that emotion began to gradually disappear. On this frigid battlefield, Makuro continued her heated conversation. Endless rounds of despair fired from the school's turrets, but Makuro's words intercepted every last violent shot that threatened to shatter her body and mind in half. She quickly realized that the Monokumas hadn't decreased in number at all, no matter how many she kept destroying. Not only that, she noticed that more Monokuma had been joining the fray until there were nearly 50 of them for Makuro to fight. Damn M's. But Makuro's resolve wouldn't break so easily. As she continued to wield her power, her heart began to fill with something that was neither hope nor despair. She learned despair from being abandoned by Junko, and she learned hope from her acts of violence. But Makuro, who had no interest in this world, this small space in front of the gate, was a reflection of her life, a representation of her perfect world. This disappointing girl, filled with endless disappointment, who knew of no other way to live, continued her lonely dance. That's sad. Aww. She surrendered herself to the rhythm of despair, which accompanies the music of hope. Oh! We're gonna see inside Junko's head now. Computer room's innermost area, Monokuma room. How much time had passed? The surveillance cameras at the gates were capturing footage of countless Monokumas falling at the hands of a child who fought like a raging demon. The Monokumas bolstered their numbers, and now 100 of them were trying to sink their claws into Makuro. Most of them were running on autopilot, reacting to her movements based on prior information they had received in advance. Wow. So you programmed them to potentially fight Makuro. Wow. But despite standing before hundreds of mechanical adversaries, Makuro's face showed no fear. She hadn't sustained a single injury, giving her a presence that was nearly divine to behold. Though Sakura Ogami was powerful enough to injure her arm, Makuro, in her current state, could potentially fight Sakura to a draw now, without relying on firearms. Because of her hope and her despair twirling inside her, she took complete control of the battlefield, taking in her surroundings as if they were part of herself. She dodged attacks from the rear as though she had eyes in the back of her head, and stabbed through Monokuma's weak points with her metal bar. No matter where the attacks came from, Makuro deflected them all, as if her skin were covered in ears. Describing her as ultimate no longer did her justice. Makuro had transcended the boundaries of humanity Makuro had transcended the boundaries of humanity and become a pure killing machine. Typos! Okay, but despite that, even though she understood the ludicrous power her sister possessed, Junko was not afraid. She felt not one iota of fear. After all Junko can feel is despair. She even started to admire her sister's attempt to fill her with despair, but that sentiment quickly filled Junko with an orgiastic ecstasy of despair? Wow, okay. Junko knew. She knew that Makuro was neither hope nor despair. She was just a phenomenon. A disappointing girl who no longer understood herself, who only knew how to be violent because it was all she could believe in anymore. I disagree. I think she's starting to understand herself more than ever. But, hey. That's my theory. My game theory. Okay. Makuro had become an avatar of destruction beyond that of any military force. She couldn't even be considered a soldier anymore. She was a natural disaster, like a typhoon or a tornado. Or perhaps, like gravity, she was now a fundamental force of the universe that only existed to bring despair to Junko. The mastermind enjoyed watching her sister go all out. If Makuro destroyed everything and ruined her life, Junko would still be comforted by the despair. She could just go right ahead and overpower her. Junko considered this for a few seconds until a familiar, hopeless habit reared its head. Oh? Okay. Her habit of getting so bored that it made her sick. The girl who had been grinning as she watched the screen now bore a look of calm stoicism, and she reached for the microphone connected to Monokuma's speakers. She needs more talking because she's bored now of the fighting, I guess? Yeah, she bores very easily. That does often lead to despair, I guess. Makuro was no longer human anymore, but Junko knew how to bring her back. It was a simple feeling, really, and with that hopeless feeling for Makuro in mind, the mastermind said just one word. Makuro. And back to here, in front of the main entrance. Makuro. That voice. It was calling her name. Instead of using Monokuma's voice filter, Junko's natural voice was coming out of a Monokuma unit. Ah, that's freaky. That's all it took. With one word, Makuro Ikosaba stopped being a force of nature and became a person again. Monokuma would not miss the opportunity. Oh shit. As if moving to the beat of Makuro's shaking heart, a torrent of claws leapt to attack her. Oh no! Somebody save her! Makuro trusted her instincts and twisted her entire body to fend off the attacks, leaving her with only a few scrapes here and there. But still, scrapes nonetheless. More than she was getting earlier. But the despair wasn't over yet. The ultimate despair didn't waste any time making her next move. Makuro, watch out! What? Huh? As soon as Makuro heard that voice, her mind went completely blank. There was no mistaking it. That was Makoto's scream! Oh, wait. But that wasn't... Okay, so is this Junko using a Makoto filter? The scream that saved her from the spears of Gungnir and changed her destiny. No, that's wrong. It took her a tenth of a second to realize that voice was just a sound clip that Junko had replayed. But it was more than enough time to drag Makuro, who had regained her humanity, into despair. Right when she recovered from her moment of shock, Monokuma appeared behind her and roundhouse kicked her in the temple. She twisted her head to roll with the blow. Ouch. Still though, it is only Monokuma. But still though, it's fucking Monokuma. If it has like freaking claws on its feet, that'd be terrible. But at that moment, a different Monokuma attacked her from the opposite side with a headbutt. As soon as Makuro dodged the attack, 3 Monokumas launched simultaneously with drop kicks, and knocked her to the ground. Oh shit! Go back to being a force of nature! Go back to being a force of nature, Makuro! No! Ugh. But the fact they weren't using their claws meant they weren't trying to kill Makuro right away. I see. So they probably do have claws on their feet. Or maybe they don't. I don't know. It'd be cool if they did. It'd be cool if claws could come out of every part of the body, actually. But hey. Oh, wait. I just thought of something. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and lay this theory now. I can't believe I'm waiting until now to bring it up. But, you know when they cut away from the whole Chihiro Kyoko thing? How Chihiro, you know, that was a program that Chihiro was working on? What if Chihiro gets some ultimate hacker on and actually hacks the Monokumas? And that's how they beat Junko, maybe. That'd be cool. Anyways, yeah. Before she could regain... What? What? Okay, come on, game. Really? Before she could stand up again, dozens of Monokuma waiting for her on the floor climbed on top of Makuro and pinned her limbs. One of the Monokuma wallowed over to Makuro as she lay face down on the floor and laughed. Hoo-hoo-hoo! A pretty girl getting pinned by all these me's. I wonder if I should feel more excited about this. Don't make that face. If I wanted to kill you, I'd just pump you full of bullets right now. But I don't think the audience watching this on TV would like that ending very much. You know, it's funny. I am watching this on a TV because I have my Vita TV going on. I need to make sure I do it the right way this time. What are you planning to do to me? Makuro asked in her emotionless voice. Monokuma guffawed and answered, Nothing. I'm just gonna stick to the original plan and make you play the killing game at this school. I'll erase everyone's memories again, including yours, I guess, and I'll just make them redo the introduction and the entrance ceremony again. In typical Monokuma fashion, he leaned his face toward Makuro. But it'd be boring if we had to redo everything. Maybe this time I'll have you participate as Makuro Ikasaba. I'll take away even more of your memories like I did to the irritating detective girl. You'll just be a poor little girl with no memory at all. As Monokuma talked and wiggled his body from side to side, the other Monokumas danced and twirled around. Amid this fantastical scene, Monokuma continued to describe his hopeless plan in a nonchalant manner. At first, you'll be the girl with amnesia, and everyone will feel so sorry for you. But as they unravel the mystery of this academy, they'll find out who you really are. It's exciting to think how they'll treat you when that happens. Knowing you, you'll probably kill someone purely on instinct. Maybe I should rethink my rules about self-defense. Woohoo! You can't... Her memories would be erased. There was nothing she could do about her classmates hating her. But losing even her childhood memories would mean her connection to Junko would be severed as well. Even if Makuro had no interest in the world, that was unbearable even for her. I've heard of New Game Plus before, but this is the first time I'll get to see a New Game Minus. What? Wait, how is Makuro making it a New Game Minus? Screw you. That would be a total plus. Ah, should I tie you up for fun? Or maybe we should make this game even more masochistic. Forget hard mode, very hard mode, and inferno mode. What, just skip ahead to impossible mode? Maybe I'll erase your memories after I drag you on a motorcycle, pummel you with 1,000 baseballs, burn you with a stake, and crush you with an excavator. So you do have all the... Okay, you know what? It is kind of funny thinking, so you're really planning all those in advance? But to be fair, she probably has a punishment planned for every single person, just in case. Which would make sense. It's kind of funny, though, that Kyoko and Naegi would use the same one. Although, no way, they wouldn't necessarily, because Naegi was only thinking in his mind. That's what happened with Kyoko. Anyways, erase your memories after I drag you on all that stuff. Okay, yeah, sure. Makuro knew what Monokuma was talking about. He was describing the tools they had prepared for the various execution they had planned for the students. After everyone reintroduces themselves, they'll walk around the school grounds and eventually find a flat-chested girl with amnesia, covered in bandages with Fenrir tattoos on her right hand. I bet a certain fan base might get off on that. If this were a game, that would increase sales by 500%. Though Monokuma sounded like he was joking, everything he said was deadly serious. And honestly, might not be entirely untrue. As evidence, Makuro heard a rumbling sound off in the distance. Now then, your sweet ride is on its way. Oh shit. You gonna get a motorcycle? Based on the engine's noise... Okay. Based on the engine noise, Makuro surmised that it was the large motorcycle that was supposed to be used for one of the executions. Specifically, if Mondo ever killed somebody. I took the time to bring this all the way from the punishment room, so you better be grateful. The sound of the roaring engine grew louder and louder, like the approaching footsteps of death. Makuro wondered how Monokuma would drive it with such tiny arms and legs, but then she remembered she was dealing with an ultimate despair. I'm also wondering, you know, are we going to get to learn about any of the other executions, possibly? Maybe? That would be cool? No? Maybe not. Junko would make the impossible possible just to bring about despair. A despair that went hand in hand with Makuro's fate. Did I fail? I couldn't fill Junko with despair? I couldn't save Makoto and the others? But now the others are going to show up and be like, no, we trust you, or something, right? Questions raced through Makuro's mind, but she wasn't able to answer them. There's no way she could have answered them so easily. After all, she was still alive. The sound of the motorcycle grew closer and closer, as if it was threatening to break Makuro's spirit. Suddenly, Monokuma stopped moving. Oh? The other Monokuma continued doing their automatic movements. As this strange event unfolded, Makuro noticed something. Oh, let me guess, Chihiro hacked it? The motorcycle had suddenly gone quiet. After a few seconds, the engine exploded to life and began to approach, even faster than before. Or maybe not? Only a few seconds later, what appeared in front of the main entrance was a normal motorcycle that plowed through groups of Monokumas like a predator hunting his prey. Ah! Chihiro! Hacker to the rescue! The rider of this motorcycle was none other than, wait, Mondo Awada? Or, wait, what? Wait, what? I'm sorry, what? Okay, so Chihiro did hack into it, and then let Awada go in? I'm confused now. Dun dun dun! Makuro and Monokuma were both visibly shocked by this turn of events. Instead of addressing them, Mondo accelerated the motorcycle he stole from Monokuma directly toward Makuro. To save her, right? Just before his front tire touched Makuro, he popped a reverse wheelie and turned the entire motorcycle around. The back wheel swept over Makuro's back, knocking away all the Monokumas that were pinning her. Can you stand? Mondo asked, and begrudgingly offered his hand to Makuro. Huh? Confused, Makuro took his hand and stood up. What are you doing, Mondo? I was so close! Or, who's talking? This is Monokuma, I guess. What are you doing, Mondo? I was so close! For a second, I thought it was Makuro. One of the Monokumas protested. Not in his normal voice, but as the hacker, Bashiki Madare. So, did she have a second voice for him? Shame we'll never hear it. Oh yeah, you're Bashiki or whatever, right? That's right! Why are you helping a terrorist? I ain't bragging about this or anything, but I have no clue if you or this girl is lying. Okay. The veins in his temple began to bulge, and his cheeks flushed with anger as Mondo said, but I ain't the type to just stand around while some idiot's gang up on a girl! There's that, biker spirit. I wonder if there's 666 pages, that'd be cool. What are you saying? Get a hold of yourself! You must be experiencing Stockholm Syndrome! You've deluded yourself into thinking you're friends with the criminal who's taking you hostage! Monokuma tried to explain to Mondo, but he ignored him, took Makuro's hand, and pulled her onto the back of the motorcycle. I'm guessing he's just bullshitting and he knows already what's going on. Or at least knows, the facts of both sides. Now shut the fuck up! I know nothing about Stockholm's or syndromes, But don't go acting like you can boss me around. As Mondo shouted, he revved the motorcycle as if he was using it to punctuate his words. The ceiling-mounted turrets began moving, but the two disappeared before the turrets could take aim at the motorcycle. As they zoomed through the hallway, countless Monokumas chased after them, waving their claws wildly through the air. Why? Asked Makuro. Huh? Shouted Mondo. His voice was louder than the sound of the engine. Don't get the wrong idea. I don't trust you at all. Okay, here's the typical tsundere thing that friends of main characters say to them in shonen anime. Don't get the wrong idea. I'm not your friend or anything. I'm just gonna settle a score with this guy or some shit. He lowered his voice slightly, as if he were whispering to himself. Still, I don't know why, but I felt like I could trust what he said. You mean Chihiro, right? Or Makoto, or question mark? He? Inquired Makuro. Probably Makoto? Or is it Makoto or Chihiro? There's no time for questions. The unit leading the Monokumas chasing after the motorcycle had almost caught up to them. And then, like the enormous maw of some fearsome creature, they brandished their claws in perfect unison. And then Sakura shows up! Maybe? At that moment, the motorcycle zoomed by a certain girl. Sakura? A girl whose fighting ability is fast as that of any normal human. The strongest girl on Earth! Dun dun dun! And Sakura kicked their butts. They're all working together. Hooray! With a fighting spirit that defied comprehension, the ultimate martial artist kicked off the floor. A sound even louder than the motorcycle's engine filled the room. When Makuro looked back, she saw Sakura landing on the floor, sending the pack of Monokumas flying several meters away. It'd be so cool to actually see this. Oh well. Sakura? If she heard Makuro mumble her name, Sakura didn't acknowledge it. Like a statue of a fearsome god king, she calmed her breathing as she stood before the pack of Monokumas, ready for battle. Oh, I'm getting flustered because of how cool this is. Your pursuit methods seem unbecoming for one who claims to be the ultimate hacker. An overpowering aura seeped from her skin, and her skin shimmied as an intense heat began to fill the hallway. Unlike the power of Makuro's sheer violence, this was the power of martial arts. Makuro froze the air around her, and time along with it, but Sakura was generating enough heat to boil space itself as she stood before the Monokumas. Okay. With that heat stinging her back, Makuro looked ahead. Hifumi and Chihiro were cautiously peeking from behind the door leading to the dorms, while Aoi and Taka kept watching from inside the building. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, they're all tag teaming then. After passing them by, Mondo slowed down the motorcycle as he reached the front of the cafeteria and turned to a complete stop. So how many people is that? If we count all 16, Junko, Makuro, we've seen Mondo, we've seen Sakura, we've seen Aoi, Taka, Chihiro, and Hifumi. That's half of them so far. The other students looked warily at Makuro. But among these students, Makuro noticed two people who weren't regarding her with suspicion. One was Kyoko, who seemed to be studying the situation. The other one was a skinny boy who was leaning against Kyoko's shoulder. Makoto? Makuro's lips began to tremble as she sat on the back of the motorcycle. Ignoring the pain coursing through his body, Makoto smiled at Makuro and repeated what he said to her earlier. I'm glad you're safe, Makuro. Unfortunately, Makuro was unable to realize her hope of filling her little sister with despair. Instead, she had successfully planted the seeds of hope inside her fellow students. Okay. Makoto had barely regained consciousness while Makuro was fighting the horde of Monokumas at the main entrance. Okay. Are we back in Makoto's POV now or something? When he woke up, he did something extremely simple. He talked about his memories. Most of the students were still skeptical even after listening to Makuro's recorded conversation on Chihiro's laptop. Obviously, they were still not entirely convinced at first when Makoto woke up, but after Sakura asked him a certain question, the ambience completely changed. Oh? Then beyond the walls of the school, the world is completely destroyed? You're saying there's no one else alive? Makoto slowly sat up to answer Sakura's neat question. Don't worry. I'm sure Kenichiro is still safe. Kenichiro? Is that Sakura's father or something? Or is that... I'm sure he'll still keep his promise to you. Wait, what? Are they saying Kenichiro is the person who... Sakura fought? What? No. Sakura gasped. Kenichiro was the only man she couldn't defeat. What? What happened to being Nekomaru Nidai? I heard that it was Nekomaru Nidai from somebody. So what the fuck is this about this Kenichiro shit? Unless that's like his other name or something. I don't know. A man who had promised her a rematch and made her one other promise as well. How do you know that name? How do you know about that promise? Because you told me. No. Because you told me. No. Makoto slowly corrected himself. You told all of us. Sakura was silent after hearing those words. But she then faced the other students and spoke in a loud, clear voice. I'm going to trust Makoto. Sakura? Though Ali was shocked, Sakura needed to speak with determination. What Makoto just said is something I kept locked away inside my memories. In fact, I was planning to keep that a secret until the day I died. But if I shared that secret, that means there was once a strong bond between Makoto, myself, and with my fellow students as well. Makoto continued to talk in a gentle tone. Though it couldn't have been good for his health, he continued to slowly talk about the memories that the other students no longer had. Why do you know about the story I'm planning to write? Are you a special Nen user who can predict the future? You already finished that story. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Oh, that was Hifumi. Are you a special Nen user who can predict the future? You already finished that story, Hifumi. You had me help you with inking. Oh, neat. Wow, that's cool to think. Cool to know about some of their actual time together. Whoa, wait a second. Oh. Kazuryu. Ha! Kazuryu! Wait, who's speaking now? How do you know I extorted money from that girl related to the Kazuryu clan? Wait, what? Is this, Celeste? What? Wait a sec. How do you know I extorted money from that girl related to the Kazuryu clan? Because you even tried to sell my organs to them. His wounds were excruciating. But even so, Makoto keeps smiling, talking about their lives together. Wait. What? As if it was his duty to do so now that he had regained his memories. As the other students listened to him, they slowly began to realize something. Okay, that's weird. So, is that Celeste? Like, they don't even really explain. The vivid accounts he was providing couldn't be explained as just passing knowledge. Clearly, some kind of bond between them all had been erased. Only Byakuya remained cynical. There's no way I would have grown closer to any of you. It's likely that you're all secretly working together. Wow. Really? Fuck off. Though Byakuya was still hostile toward Makoto's recollection of their memories, for the time being he determined that Makoto wasn't actually a terrorist. Makuro had bought enough time for Makoto to wake up and share his memories with the others. Even if she hadn't intended to do that, it was still a small sliver of hope that she grasped tightly. And now, as she looked at the boy who had smiled at her, Makuro didn't know what to say. She couldn't think of anything to say at all. The battle was over, and Makuro was now back to being a disappointing girl. She turned away from everyone's faces and apologetically climbed off the back of the motorcycle. But Makoto saw her and slowly opened his mouth to say, "Thank you, Makuro. You saved my life." Dun dun dun. Makoto gave her words of sincere gratitude between his weak breaths. Makuro couldn't bring herself to look at him as she mumbled to herself. Why? Huh? If Kyoko told you, then you already know what I did, right? After gaining his memories and learning the truth, Makuro should have been nothing but a hated traitor to him. Why would he smile at someone like her? Because hope. Makuro kept her head down. Makoto smiled as if he was unsure how to respond and said, "Well, I guess you're right. But you also saved my life many times during these past 2 years, and..." Makoto took a deep, quiet breath and smiled at Makuro again. Makoto took the breath. God damn, Ems. "You're my friend. We all spent time with each other. It would be great if you could look for a different path, not despair. And if there's any way I can help with you with that, I will. Do you really think I can walk another path at this point? I don't know what you can do, or even what I can do. But I think it's more important to look for that path instead of actually finding it. Because sometimes the act of looking will help you find it. Was this intentional or coincidence? Just before he regained his memories, Makoto had said something similar to Mikuro when she spoke to him in the nurse's office as Junko. Regardless of whether he lost his memories or regained them, those words revealed Makoto's true character. As Mikuro confirmed that to herself, Makoto blurted out something that was almost too trusting. And it's not just you. Even Junko can... no. But he was immediately interrupted. Woohoo! Woohoo! Monokuma's face appeared on every monitor in the academy as laughter seemed to be coming out of every speaker. I could have kept pretending to be the ultimate hacker, but it's boring to impersonate someone who doesn't even exist. If this keeps up, I'll lose my identity and turn to... Kanokuma. Kanokuma? Whatever. Kyoko looked up at a surveillance camera and addressed Monokuma directly. You seem to give up pretty easily. There isn't a bear anywhere that gives up as easily as I do. Regardless, I'm pretty sure Chihiro has figured out the secret to my control program by now. So just as I thought, you include that program on purpose. Kyoko realized something when Kuro told her about Junko. There were two reasons such a hateful person would intentionally leave an obvious clue inside the Monokuma units. Either Junko wanted the students to learn the truth about the outside world themselves on their own and turn their hopes into despair, or she was looking forward to that clue resulting in her own plan being undone, which would allow her to feel despair toward herself. She was an angel of everlasting darkness, delighting in her own despair and using it to spread despair and destruction to those around her. Why would someone like that continue to play the role of Monokuma? Actually, I set that program for Chihiro to discover if she happened to be one of the final 5 survivors. I feel so sad and empty that my preparations was a waste. What I'm going to think about positivity. I'm going to think positively. The word retreat doesn't exist in Monokuma's dictionary. Nervousness began to grip the students as Monokuma continued talking in his relaxing, uplifting voice. Now then, looks like everyone's here, including Toko, who's still tied up in her room. So let's start the heart-throbbing, exciting special graduation exam. Oh? Huh? The students broke out in noisy confusion, but Monokuma ignored them and kept talking. Don't think about it too hard. Relax, relax. Change a lax to a pert. Reapert? For all I care, I'll still be the most adorable bear here. What? Relax to repert. The fuck is repert? Byakuya, visibly annoyed with Monokuma's nonsensical ramblings, shouted, I already know it's you, Junko. Stop this stupid game and show yourself. Oh my, don't you know? If you want to lure the mastermind out of her heavenly hidey hole, you need to bring a worthy sacrifice. You're not worthy enough at all. Oh, Byakuya not being worthy is gonna piss him off. Do you really think the mastermind would show herself for your pathetic hope and despair? For your pathetic hope and despair? Wahahaha! He roared, manically, then began to explain the special graduation exam. If you pass the exam, everyone will graduate, but if you fail, you'll be held back for a whole year. I'll reset your memories, give you a fresh new lease on life, and you'll reintroduce yourself at the start of the school year again. They say people's lives don't come with reset buttons, but I'm not a people. Whether it's soft resets or hard resets, I can do as I please. Yasuhiro seemed confused, but the other students knew what Monokuma meant by reset. He was going to force them to relive their school lives once again. As Yasuhiro struggled to understand, Taka pointed at a nearby monitor and shouted, Stop this already! No matter what you do to us, we'll never commit murder. These past few days should have already made that clear to you. What was that? Jumped Monokuma. Are you serious? Of course, no one here would ever take another human being's life for any reason. Oh wait, what? Of course, no one here would ever take another human being's life for any reason. Gosh, knowing who's talking. As Taka shouted, one of the students, a pale-faced girl standing apart from the others, looked away. Oh, is that Sayaka? It was Sayaka. As she trembled, a voice popped up from behind her. What do you think, Sayaka? She couldn't even turn around from sheer terror, but Sayaka knew. She knew Monokuma was standing right behind her. Do you really think none of you will become a killer? Monokuma leaned towards Sayaka and asked her a question only she could hear. By the way, Sayaka, why'd you go to Makoto's room when nothing strange had happened yet?